We have an interesting call here from Connor. This is from 2020, I believe. So we have an interesting call from Connor, who's claiming that he can debunk atheism. Now, Matt has just asked Connor, would he be able to debunk a stampism, somebody who doesn't collect stamps or doesn't believe in collecting stamps. So let's listen to what he's got to say.
To experience stamping, and that debunks.
No. They don't collect stamps, and you claim that you can debunk that. How can you debunk someone who does not believe something, who does not do something?
Oh no, I'm not debunking that they do not collect stamps. I could just debunk that stamp collecting does not exist, right? But
that's not what they believe. That's not what I said. So this is about whether or not they believe. This is about what their hobby is. I'm not talking about a belief in this sense. So when you say atheism is no more than a religion, when we define religions, religions have tenets and instructions and guides and a worldview and leaders and organization. None of that exists within atheism, right?
I see. I mean, you guys do have leaders. You guys.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
You guys
No, we don't. No, we don't.
No.
That's not what there's no leader of atheism. Not like a pope or a priest or
a leader.
I'm not a leader of atheism.
Like leader. Okay.
Trust me.
I'm talking about. So when you say that atheism is a religion, what do you mean?
Okay, yeah, and again, I might have a different definition of a religion. I simply see religion as a set of thoughts and beliefs about divinity, right?
But atheism, as you've defined it, is someone who doesn't believe in a God. That's not a set of thoughts and beliefs about divinity. That's someone who is not convinced.
I personally get very tired reading through comment sections, not just on my own videos, but on the Atheist Experience or say Richard Dawkins against whoever, and the number of theists who will say, "Oh, atheism is just another religion," and I don't even bother responding to those because then an interminable back and forth will ensue, which is really futile.
Right, but that is a thought about divinity. You could not.
Oh my God! Then everything is a fucking religion. What a useless definition.
Well,
yeah.
Well, no. I mean, if you're studying.
Now, hang on. It also says in your call screener thing that you're saying it's a religion based on blind assumptions. But if atheism, as you define it, is not believing in God, what's the blind assumption?
The blind assumption that you're making is that we are living in a material, objective reality, and that there is something outside of direct experience. So, for example, when you close your eyes, I still exist, right? When you close your eyes, your environment still exists, right?
That assumption that I am experiencing a reality isn't a part of atheism. That is, everybody makes that assumption.
Well, no. It's not the assumption that you're experiencing reality. You're experiencing reality. That's the truth. You're making the assumption that we're living in an objective physical world, right? That's made of matter at its base. Okay.
I have evidence. I have evidence that we exist in a material world. Now,
I have evidence that we do not.
Well, then stop saying it's an assumption, because so what is the blind assumption that atheism is based on? Hang on. Let's try this one more time. You say a God exists. I say I'm not convinced. We have defined atheism as someone who is not convinced that God exists. There's no blind assumption required to not be convinced. You start off not convinced, right?
No, that is the falsehood.
No, that's bullshit. You start off not convinced because at the beginning of your life, you cannot even process a concept, which means you cannot have a concept, right?
No, this is the thing. Concepts are what are actually holding you back from realizing the divinity of experience.
Answer the question. Don't go off on it. Can a baby that's just been born conceive of a God?
Yes. The problem,
No, they can't. We know this from how brains work, that is not possible.
okay, then give me your definition of God.
I don't.
Unbelievable how he just sort of sidestepped that and just ignored that point.
Don't have a definition of God. I react to everyone else's definitions of God. They define a God, and I am either convinced that God exists, or I am not convinced that God exists. Well, it would be stupid and dishonest argument for me to set up a God and knock it down. That's a straw man. You're the one that needs to define the God that you believe in, and then either we're convinced or we're not.
Then why don't you listen to my definition of God and see if...
I'm happy to listen to your definition of God. What we were talking about was whether or not a baby that's just been born can conceive of a God. And what we know from neuroscience is that that's not possible, and you're saying it is.
Do you not see what you're doing? In my definition of a God, a baby can. You are creating a definition of a God.
So
you are saying
no.
But
No, Connor. No. So you can sit here and define a God all day long and say that your definition of a God means that babies can conceive of things, and what it proves is that your definition of God is wrong and not attached to reality, because babies can't conceive of God.
You're trapping yourself in a giant contradiction. You don't even know what my definition of God is, yet you're denying it.
If your definition of God is based on babies can understand it, and we have evidence that says that babies can't understand it, then your definition of God is automatically flawed before we get out of the gate.
Yeah. If your definition of God was my God, because my God exists, means that Matt has a vagina, I don't need to know anything more about your God. It's false, because I don't. And if your God is one that you think that babies can understand God, we know that's not true either. So I don't need to hear all of your definition of God, because you already broke it by claiming something that isn't true.
No. By you saying that babies cannot understand God, you are creating a definition of God.
No, I'm not.
No.
I'm saying babies can't understand concepts. Zero concepts, no concepts. They don't understand God. They don't understand you. They don't understand arguments. They don't understand genitalia.
It sounds to me like this caller is really trolling.
They don't understand what food is. They cannot conceive. That's not the way brains work.
Issue. You think that God is a concept when it is not. God is
no.
God
Connor, listen. Babies don't understand the concept of a horse. The concept of a horse is independent of whether a horse exists or not. Babies cannot conceive of a God. I did not say that proves that God doesn't exist. I didn't say it had anything to do with whether or not a God exists. Babies don't have the ability to process concepts.
I understand that. But what I'm telling you is that
you understand, no. You just said that babies, you understand that babies can't understand concepts. And
I must admit, I think Matt is slightly laboring this point. I wish he would just ask the caller to state his definition of God. There's definition such that babies can conceive of a God.
a minute ago, you said they could.
No, I did not. I said they could understand God. God is not a concept.
Okay, we're done, Connor, because all understanding is conceptual. They cannot, if they can't understand the concept of God, then there is no comprehension of the actual God. Just like if I can't understand the concept of a horse, I don't understand a horse.
All right. And peekaboo works because babies don't have object permanence. So if they can't see it, they can't touch it, they can't sense it, it doesn't exist, then your God definitely doesn't exist to a baby.
I did not. Okay. You want to start over, Connor? You want to try again?
That'd be great. I'd love to.
Sure. What God do you believe in? Give me a rough ballpark definition.
So, first of all, I want to make it clear that I do not believe in a God. What I'm about to tell you is not some belief system.
Goodbye, jackass. Thanks for wasting my time.
Oh,
You identified yourself as a theist, a T. That means you believe in a God of some sort. You came in and argued that babies can understand God because God isn't a concept. And now you say you don't believe in a God. Thank you for wasting everybody's time and showing what an unbelievable jackass you are, Connor.
I made one or two notes on that call. I copied it into a Word document some time ago, and I just wrote down dishonest atheist. And I remember now why I wrote down dishonest atheist. These so-called atheists or even theists who want to play devil's advocate and take on a position which they don't believe in is just one big waste of time. So, well, I suppose at least he said it before he actually defined this God that he doesn't believe in. So at least he saved us 1 or 2 minutes of listening to any more of his call. Thank you very much for watching. I would love to hear your comments on this call, and I'll be back again with another video very soon. Bye for now.